Okay, so we have today's class as simultaneous practice class with students. But before we do that, we are going to do consecutive first, then simultaneous next. I want to show you the difference between both of them and how you can maneuver when you have any of them on. I have posted the text in the group. We used it last, I think we used it in the 28th day or 29th day challenge, either of the two, or 30 days challenge we are doing on WhatsApp. So if you didn't follow that class, this is it. You can still go back and have the class, but we are going to use it for a live session. Okay, so take about 2 or 3 minutes to go through the text from beginning to the end. After that, let me know the new words or expressions you might have challenges with so that we can trash that out before we go into interpreting. All right, so the first thing we are going to do is consecutive interpretation. Then afterwards, we'll go into simultaneous. Now, the first time we did consecutive, we were able to get around doing the interpretation because we used note-taking technique. Can you remember?
Yes, ma.
Okay. So note-taking technique helps you to do a consecutive interpretation where the speaker spoke for a long time. Like if the speaker said everything on this page in one breath. There are two things. If
Yes,
you are
ma.
a very experienced interpreter, you might still be able to interpret it without taking notes. But if you are new or you're just into the profession, you might have to take notes at some point because some important things were mentioned here: dates, location, and so on. So the
Yes, ma.
the one we are doing today does not involve taking notes at all. This one depends on your short-term memory. The note taking helps you to keep track of your long-term memory information.
Okay,
Short-term
ma.
memory, at this time we'll be doing maybe about 3 4 sentences, and I'm going to pause, then you interpret.
Okay, ma.
But before we go into that, do you have any questions or any expression that is not familiar in this text?
Yes, ma. I took them down.
Okay, can we have them?
The the first one is devoir. Les
Devoir.
pays de G7 ont devoir mercredi. Devoir.
Dévoiler.
Okay, dévoiler, sorry.
Let's see. Have you
Then,
forgot? Okay, go on.
okay, dissuader,
Okay.
livraison,
Livraison.
livraison. Yes.
Devoiler. Yeah, I've gotten that. You wrote it down. Okay.
Okay, then bias.
Okay.
Then grave error. Is it big mistake or
Grab. Yeah, his big mistake. Okay, so dévoiler. Um, dévoiler means to unveil.
okay?
Dissuader. Are you taking it down? We write it down because
Yes,
while you are interpreting, you might be using the words.
yes, I'm taking it down.
Okay. Dissuader means to deter someone from doing something or to prevent.
Okay,
Livraison is to deliver, although it depends on the
okay,
context. Deliver, like if you are
okay,
doing a delivery, it's also called livraison.
okay,
Bias is still the same word as bias in English, but a different spelling.
okay,
Grave error, serious mistake, serious error, grave mistake. But serious mistake will go in this context.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. All right, so I'll read 4 sentences. Once you just hear start, once I'm done, I'll say start. You start interpreting.
Okay.
With this, we are doing consecutive, so you're not going to take any notes. I'm just going to do something quickly short, then you interpret. This is
Okay,
another
ma.
type of consecutive interpretation. Although it's not so common. Most people just forget and continue talking and forget they're supposed to interpret. But usually, consecutive, there is this type where they talk, like when you are having a pastor now. I don't know if you've seen
Yes.
pastors, and you have their
Yes.
interpreter. The pastor will talk for a while, he will pause, then the person is going to now interpret. So that's the type we are going to do. That
Okay,
type.
ma.
All right, so on commence. Au second jour d'un sommet de l'OTAN organisé à Vilnius en Lituanie, un plan d'engagement à long terme pour la sécurité de l'Ukraine a été présenté mercredi par les Occidentaux. Start.
On the second day of the summit of Lotan organized in Vilnius at Lutain, the plan of the plan was talking about the long-term security of Ukraine on this day, Wednesday, with the Westerners.
Okay. In this, let me correct something here. I'll be correcting you whenever you stop. If you make any major mistake, I'll correct it. OTAN here
Okay,
is
ma.
NATO. You know NATO?
Okay,
NATO.
yes,
NATO organization. Yes. That's
okay,
OTAN. Then Vilnius
okay,
is a place in a country called Lithuania.
okay.
Plan d'engagement,
Lutain.
yeah. Plan d'engagement à long term means long-term commitment plan.
Okay, ma.
Okay, so do it
Thank you, ma.
again.
Okay. On the second day of the NATO summit organized in Vilnius at Lithuania, the long-term plan the long-term plan for the security of Ukraine was spoken about today being Wednesday with the Westerners.
Le président français Emmanuel Macron a jugé que la Russie était fragile politiquement et militairement. Stat.
The French president Emmanuel Macron judged that Russia has had a fragile politics and military.
Okay. When you see était, that's the imperfect. It's the continuous past tense. It's the continuous past tense
Okay.
here, not the um past perfect.
Past.
It's not that you did past
Okay,
perfect here.
okay. So that has a fragile
Yes.
politics and military.
Politically and militarily.
Okay, politically and militarily. Political.
Okay, on continue.
Oui.
Les pays du G7 ont dévoilé mercredi 12 juillet, en marge du sommet de l'OTAN à Vilnius, une initiative multilatérale visant à donner à l'Ukraine des assurances de sécurité sur le long terme avec l'objectif de renforcer ses défenses contre la Russie et de dissuader Moscou de mener de nouvelles agressions. Start.
The countries of the G7 have unveiled the country of G7 have unveiled on Wednesday, 12th July, during the NATO summit at Vilnius, a multilateral initiative that would give Ukraine an assurance of long-term security. And also the objective is to reinforce the defense against Russia and also prevent most.
Let me read it. You're not supposed to be reading it. That's side translation.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, so just listen and try as much as possible to remember the points. You can still take down some information, anything that you know would help you to remember it, the content of a class sentence. You can write it down. Like I'm going to mention a date, you can write the date down. I'll mention a place, you can also write it down. But you're not supposed to be reading, and that's why I'm reading it for you. So.
Okay, ma.
Les
Okay,
pays
ma.
du G7 ont dévoilé mercredi 12 juillet, en marge du sommet de l'OTAN à Vilnius, une initiative multilatérale visant à donner à l'Ukraine les assurances de sécurité sur le long terme, avec l'objectif de renforcer ses défenses contre la Russie et de dissuader Moscou de mener de nouvelles agressions.
Okay, ma. Can I start?
Yeah, sorry, start.
Of the G7 unveiled on the 12th of July, on the 12th of July, during the NATO summit, that they gave an assurance to Ukraine that they would support Ukraine with a long-term security, and also the objective is to prevent Moscow from engaging in a new aggression towards them.
Ok. Cette initiative comprend des livraisons d'équipements militaires sophistiqués, de la formation, du partage des renseignements et de la cybersécurité, ont indiqué dans une déclaration commune à laquelle d'autres pays peuvent se joindre. Les États-Unis, l'Allemagne, le Japon, la France, le Canada, l'Italie et la Grande-Bretagne, ainsi que l'Union européenne. Start.
This initiative is to help in delivering sophisticated military equipment, and also to help in sharing the cyber security,
Knowledge on cyber security.
sharing knowledge of cyber security, and also some countries, the countries which joined this
Common declaration.
which could join this declaration are the United States, Germany, Japan, Canada, Great Britain, and also European countries.
The European Union. L'Union européenne.
The European Union.
Okay. The initiative is meant for the purchase of military equipment, training, and cyber security information sharing. This was indicated in a common declaration of which other countries participated in, namely, you missed out France and it's another country, about two countries.
Okay. Okay, ma, I thought this livraison was for to deliver. So could it be used to purchase?
Oh, sorry, delivery. Pardon me. Delivery, not
Delivery.
purchase. Yeah. Pardon me,
Delivery of
delivery.
the sophisticated military equipment.
Yeah. Okay, on continue.
We.
We'll just stop at the after this paragraph. We'll stop at the next paragraph. Then we'll start all over again. This time with simultaneous. Ok. En contrepartie, Ukraine s'engage à améliorer sa gouvernance, notamment par le biais de réformes judiciaires et économiques et d'une plus grande transparence. Start.
On the contrary, Ukraine has engaged in good governance and also in making bias reforms in the economic and judiciary aspect of the country.
En contrepartie means in return.
Okay, in return. Okay, not on the contrary.
Not on the contrary.
Okay, thank you.
No, they are doing something for Ukraine. So Ukraine has to give something in return.
Return. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And bias in judicial and economic reforms for greater transparency.
Okay, for greater ground transparency.
Okay, so the last paragraph will do. Le porte-parole du Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov, avait précédemment jugé la perspective d'une telle initiative de grave erreur qui pourrait s'avérer très dangereuse, en particulier pour l'Europe. Start.
Yes, the main word for Kremlin, Dmitry. The main word from Kremlin is from Dmitry, which passed a judgment on the initiative that it's a big or a serious mistake. And it's a serious mistake, and also which would cause danger to Europe.
Okay, un porte-parole is a spokesperson.
Okay,
The spokesperson from Kremlin.
Okay.
Précédemment, initially, judged that this perspective of such an initiative is a serious mistake and could prove very dangerous, particularly for Europe.
Okay. Thank you. Spokesperson and judge that. Okay, thank you, ma.
Okay, so we'll stop here for consecutive. What we'll be doing now is simultaneous. So I'll be reading the sentences and you'll be interpreting immediately. As you hear anything, you interpret, but I'll try as much as possible to go slowly since you are just learning, you just start, this is your first time. So I'll go slowly so that you can catch up. Just try to imagine that you are in an interpreter's booth and you are hearing me, but this time I'm taking it slowly, not at the natural pace of a speaker. Are you ready?
Okay, yes, ma.
All right, so we start. Au
All
second
right,
jour d'un sommet de l'OTAN
on the second day of the summit
organisé à Vilnius
in Vilnius
en Lituanie,
at Lithuania,
un plan d'engagement à long terme
The long-term
pour
plan,
la sécurité de l'Ukraine a été présenté
the security of Ukraine, and
mercredi
has been
par
presented on Wednesday by
les Occidentaux.
the
Le
Westerners.
président français Emmanuel Macron a
The French
jugé
president
que
Emmanuel Macron
la Russie était fragile politiquement
has
et militairement.
judged that Russia has a fragile econ and political system and military system.
Les pays de G7 ont dévoilé mercredi 12 juillet
The G7 countries,
en marge du sommet de l'OTAN
12th of July, Wednesday, 12th of July, during the NATO summit
à Vilnius, une initiative multilatérale visant
came up
à donner à
a
l'Ukraine
multilateral initiative
des assurances de sécurité sur le long terme.
came up with a long-term security initiative
avec l'objectif de renforcer cette défense
with the objective to reinforce the defense
contre la Russie et dissuader Moscou de mener de nouvelles agressions.
against Moscow from a new attack or aggression.
Okay, another expression for renforcer is strengthen. Usually I use strengthen.
Okay, ma, thank you.
Cette initiative comprend des livraisons d'équipements militaires sophistiqués.
Comprises of the economic and military.
Cette initiative comprend des livraisons d'équipements militaires sophistiqués.
This initiative is to deliver sophisticated
de la
military
formation, du
and the formation
partage des
of the share
renseignements
and the
et de
teaching
la cybersécurité.
of
Continue talking
cybersecurity.
and don't stop because I stopped.
Okay.
On
Cybersecurity.
indiqué dans une déclaration commune
In that this declaration
à laquelle, just continue, à laquelle d'autres pays peuvent se joindre.
at some
Les États-Unis,
at some countries like the United States of
l'Allemagne,
America,
le Japon, la France,
Germany,
le
Japan,
Canada,
France,
l'Italie
Canada,
et la
Italy,
Grande-Bretagne, ainsi que l'Union européenne.
and also the European Union.
En contrepartie, l'Ukraine s'engage à améliorer sa gouvernance, notamment par le biais de réformes judiciaires et économiques et d'une plus grande transparence.
Good governance in the reforms, judicial reforms, and a very great transparency.
Le porte-parole du Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov, avait précédemment jugé la perspective d'une telle initiative de grave erreur.
is a serious
qui
mistake
pourrait s'avérer très dangereuse, en
and is
particulier
very
pour l'Europe.
to Europe.
Okay, you need to practice listening and talking at the same time. I think
Okay, ma.
ladies, women are better at multitasking, so it's supposed to be to our advantage where we can do two things at the
Okay,
same time. It's called that whenever I pause, that's when you can remember.
yes,
So that's not how it's done. No, you'll be talking as you are listening and listening as you are talking.
yeah.
I
Okay,
tried
ma.
to make it very slow, very, very slow.
Yes,
So what you should do,
yes, ma.
go back, take this text. I did it this way just to know if you like to see where your challenges are. I know that this is not a typical interpretation session. There's no way you can
Yes,
interpret like this. I want you
yes,
to
ma.
on your own know where your mistakes are. Once you hear yourself,
Okay,
you will know that okay, this is where I make mistakes, and so I won't be the one telling you that this is the area you need to work on. So you need to work on your listening skills, and your speaking. Your English is okay, there's no problem with your grammar. It's just for you to
okay,
understand the new vocabulary, so you're not making any major grammatical mistakes, but you should ensure that
okay,
your interpretation is correct, so you're not missing out too many important information.
okay, ma.
I did that consecutive first so that you can know the expressions and the words. So when I'm doing the simultaneous, you will not get stuck at any expression that you don't know.
Yes, ma. It was really helpful.
Mm. Okay, so please, like I'm using two devices. One I'm using to record, the other one I'm using to do the class. So you do the same thing. You can just borrow a phone, maybe your second phone or your any of your family members. You can do a recording. So you record yourself speaking slowly after you have gone through the documents. You've done a side
Okay,
translation document. You record yourself speaking slowly. I think I even did it in the video. I did it on the 29th. But try and do your own. Maybe you do one paragraph and now
okay,
interpret on what you said. Instead, you'll be doing this from French to English. So you record yourself speaking French of this document, a certain portion, just a small portion, to try if your
okay,
speed is okay for you. Then you play it to yourself and try to interpret it. So the more you
okay,
keep
ma.
doing it on the same document, the faster your speed will be. So when you now change to another
Document.
document, now go back to the way it was. So you keep doing the same
Yes.
thing on the same document over, and when you are done, you delete the old one, do another one, or you can even leave everything and just listen to your progress. Okay, I noticed that even our teachers, when I was learning, did not know
Okay.
how to do translation or interpretation. Most of them just knew the concepts and they were very good at
Wow.
explaining it to us. Yes, I was surprised. But in reality,
Wow.
if they can't go for any interpretation program or translation of documents, they can't do most of those things. But they know all the rules. So
Wow.
actually,
Wow.
the whole bulk of whether you went to university to learn interpretation or you learned it by yourself, the only thing they are teaching you there is putting you through a process that you have to practice either with someone or by yourself. So it just
Okay.
goes to show that you don't specifically need to go to a school and follow the process, because the person that is
Yes,
teaching
ma.
you might not even be a professional in interpreting. Most of them
Interpreting.
cannot, they can't even teach. Some can't teach. It's just like when
Wow.
you have yeah, many of them cannot teach. I've met some of them, you don't even know how to explain how to do, but you know how to do it. But to put you through the
Wow.
process, don't have that patience to teach you from
Yeah.
stage to
Okay.
stage. Yes. So and most teachers cannot interpret.
Wow.
They will just put you and say, okay, Miss Blessing, say like this, do like this, but tell them to do it, they can't do it. So the reason why I'm saying
Wow.
this It's so that you know
Okay.
that you are not wasting your time. You know, most people cannot go to the interpretations because of the cost, and not just financially. Now they will have to maybe travel or maybe
Oh,
work part-time. So don't
yes,
think
ma.
that, oh, until you get to that stage before you know how to interpret. No, this is the interpret. This is how you learn. Even in the
Okay.
interpretation school, you actually practice. You do group practice. They'll give you certain sites where you practice. They'll give you some documents. Everything is just practice, practice. After the theory is done, the rest of the work is consistent practice.
Yes.
Mm,
Okay.
that's just how
Thank you,
you
ma.
get it. You're welcome.
Ma, also this simultaneous interpretation, did they give you the document, or do you have an idea of what is being talked on, or you may not have?
Yes, that's another thing. Thank you for asking that question. Like 90% of the time, especially if you are dealing with private, maybe you are doing something freelance, especially freelance, you don't get to have access
Yeah.
to the document. Some days, sometimes you might come for the program, you won't even know anything more than just the title of what is going on. It will be
Wow.
there on at the event that you start seeing the speeches coming one by one. Normally people are supposed to have submitted their speech before the program starts, but most people are not even ready with their speech. Maybe they get it ready a few minutes to, and they want to come, and because they are not prepared, they will come out and start reading the speech. Instead of giving a speech, they will just take like 10 pages and start trying to finish what would take like maybe 10 minutes in 5 minutes. So usually it's supposed to be at least a week or 2 weeks for the program. All the documents concerning that program are supposed to be submitted to the interpreter so that you can know the kind of expressions to expect. Anything that has to do with
Yeah.
details, so that you can memorize all those things. But from my experience, sometimes
Yes,
it might
ma.
be a night. If you are lucky, a night too. They will now tell,
Wow.
this. It will just send you like 23 pages room and say, these
Wow.
documents for the meeting. When are you going to practice? So that's why you should try and read far and wide. That was why I brought a document that has to do with a current situation. And it's good if you have a
Okay.
niche you start with. Like if you want to go into diplomacy, you can start with maybe UN documents, AU, ECOWAS. You go to their websites. There are so many speeches for free. You download them. The good thing is, on that good thing is that they use similar expressions. So if you go to ECOWAS website, you'll be seeing expressions that are recurrent, like
Okay.
what do I say now? Summits, organized, commitment plan. I'm trying to look for something here that will remind me of some of these words. Renforcer, um, sustainable development plan, SDGs. Those expressions are used in certain contexts, certain organizations. So when you get used to
Oh,
them, once you hear, uh, I've forgotten what it's called in French, but it's called sustainable development plan. When you hear SDG, you know what it means already.
yes, ma.
When you hear l'Union Européenne or
Yeah.
Union Africaine, those kind of
Yes.
expressions are common in certain areas.
At least that of pastor, this that's simultaneous, that's consecutive now. That one is not
Yes,
simultaneous.
it's not simultaneous,
The
it's
pastor of
consecutive.
the
Mm,
okay, okay,
mm.
okay. But if the consecutive, that one they don't need a document beforehand.
Oh, they do. Most of the not compulsorily do, because you are given time to take notes, and the time for you, everybody will keep quiet and listen to you. It's not really compulsory
Yes.
that you have a document before the event, although it would be good, especially if it's on an area that you are not familiar with at all. Like I am not familiar with the medical field. at all.
Yeah.
So if you now ask me to do consecutive, I will need to know the names of certain diseases or equipment in both languages.
Okay.
So I don't get
Okay.
stuck.
Okay. Okay.
That's why it's
Okay.
good for you when you read the news. Even when you're on holiday, you read the news, you get to know what's going on. Unconsciously, you'll be absorbing the new words. So there's a disease
Oh,
outbreak, for example, like Ebola or any of the diseases that have come out before now. You will know the meaning
yeah.
in your language B. So there's an Ebola
Okay.
summit somewhere, even though you are not in the medical field, because you've read about what happened in different countries, how they resolved it, some of the expressions will not be strange to you. At least most of them will not be strange to you.
Okay. And that's when you're at least watching news like in your the other language,
Yes, if you don't
not
have
just in
time
your
to
language.
watch news, because watching news takes time, you can instead read or listen. So while you are working, you just plug in your headsets and you listen for a few minutes to the
Okay.
headlines and a bit of explanation, and you are done. 5-10 minutes a day is okay, it's good. So when you set your alarm, you put your alarm your on your calendar or your phone, that okay, every day at so time I listen to the news for 10 minutes. Maybe put it close to your
Yeah.
prayer time. I know everybody prays almost throughout the day, so you can set it at that
Yeah.
time.
Okay. 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 Thank you very much, ma. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Merci et bon dimanche. So do this assignment and you can submit on our next class is on Wednesday. So on or before Wednesday.
Okay. 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 All right. Thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
All right. Bonnie.
Bonne nuit.
Au revoir.